This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
New updates from Fair Oaks Farms, the Indiana tourist attraction accused of animal abuse. The work the farm did over the weekend to make sure abuse does not happen in the future.
Plus, new safety efforts underway in Fishers, the watch group in need of volunteers as residents work to keep kids safe this summer. Thanks for watching Good Morning Indiana. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Meteorologist Todd Clausen here with us now to kick off the start to our work week. And Todd, you said the good news is the rain is moving out.
Yeah, you're going to walk out the door, which we already had done, obviously, and you're going to just get hit by a wall of humidity.
I feel like I'm in like South America.
Yeah, you really do. It's a very, very tropical-like feel, but the good news is things will get a lot better as the day goes on. So you need to be patient. Nicole alluded to the rain that has moved out for the most part. There's a hit or miss shower I'll show you in just a second. But you probably don't need the umbrella today. The light jacket will be needed and the sunglasses. So even though it's kind of a dreary start for us here across the area, we will have a lot of sunshine later on this afternoon. Here's what's left of the rain. A few tropical-like downpours near Winchester and Richmond up towards Portland, but that is moving out of the area. That is the good news. And as you look back off to the west, there's a lot of clear skies, and that's what we'll enjoy in the days ahead. Now, temperatures this morning were in the 60s. It's very, very muggy. Temperatures don't really do a whole lot throughout the day today. We'll dip down into the low 60s and then get back up to near 70 degrees. Again, the difference is morning clouds give way to lots of sunshine here this afternoon. Elena.
All right, thank you, Todd. So if you're heading out the door, a couple closures to point out to you. So these ramps, both the southbound I-65 ramp to Lafayette Road and also the Lafayette Road ramp to southbound I-65 are closed. To get around it, you can exit at 38th Street for that ramp that's exiting off, and then to get on it, you can use 38th Street. Let's take a look at the roads right now. Here's a look at I-465 at West 71st Street on the northwest side. Everything's moving along just fine for your morning drive.
Elena, thank you. Breaking news right now. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office needs your help tracking down this missing 18-year-old. A silver alert has been issued for Ethan Taylor, who was last seen in Cicero around 10 last night.
He was wearing a red Fortnite t-shirt, jeans, and flip-flops. Police say he's about 5'10" and 180 pounds. Taylor is believed to be in extreme danger. If you know where he is or see him, call police right away. A Muncie mother is behind bars this morning, facing neglect charges in connection to the death of her daughter.
Police still keeping tight-lipped on exactly what happened, but right now we do know that Sarah Stile has been preliminarily charged with neglect of a dependent causing death. According to the Delaware County coroner, her daughter, 3-month-old Shay Anna Marie Stile, died on Saturday. The baby's cause of death is still under investigation. Stile is currently being held on a $50,000 bail.
A popular Indiana farm and dairy operation is taking steps to protect its animals after a video showing abusive conditions went viral. Last week, an animal rights group released the video taken at Fair Oaks Farms. Since then, the company's CEO has apologized and promised to install cameras to give an extra layer of protection. Over the weekend, he gave an update on progress at the farm.
We've already started installing temporary cameras while we have mapped out the entire property to specify the locations of the permanent cameras.
Fair Oaks suspended delivery service of all their products this week, saying drivers were getting death threats and in some cases run off the road after the abusive video went public. The Newton County Sheriff's Office is still investigating to determine if criminal charges will be filed in connection to the abuse video.
Today, an Indianapolis mother is set to sit down with school officials, upset that not enough is being done to a substitute teacher who made inappropriate comments toward her daughter.
And it's like the school doesn't even care. All they care about is their reputation.
Dimples Bledsoe says a substitute teacher kept her daughter and another student after class and told the two they were pretty and that he liked, quote, thick girls. He then started playing music and asked the girls to dance. They told another teacher, who then got the principal involved. But the girl's mother says the only reason the substitute was reprimanded was for arguing with school officials and not what was said to the students. The school told us nothing illegal happened and they would not discuss personnel matters any further.
This year, more than 1,000 cases of measles have been reported here in the U.S.
That's the highest number since 1992. The outbreak is dangerous to many, but especially one group of people already fighting for their lives. Our Alyssa Donovan joins us now in the studio. And Alyssa, you spoke with a doctor about the impact the measles can have on cancer patients.
That's right. And the big thing is that the fatality rate for measles in a healthy person is about 1 in every 1,000 patients. But for cancer patients, doctors say the infection and complication rate increases dramatically, so the fatality rate is much higher. That's mainly because people who have cancer have a compromised immune system. Cancer treatments like chemotherapy can suppress the immune system, making it harder for a patient to fight the virus. Since the measles outbreak started, doctors at Franciscan Health's Cancer Center are counseling their patients, recommending immediate family members get the MMR vaccine. While the physicians are not telling patients to restrict their social lives, they are advising them to use caution in their daily routines. Oncologists say the measles outbreak is frustrating, and it has forced them to shift their main focus of curing patients.
Adding a risk of infection to a potentially curable patient is not something we need to be focused on right now, but unfortunately that's where our focus is. It is a shame to help patients get rid of their cancer but then succumb to an illness such as an infection from measles.
Locally, Franciscan Health has taken steps to protect patients, restricting visitors who have not been vaccinated against measles or are not immune to measles. These people are not allowed to visit certain areas, including the Oncology Cancer Center. Indiana has one confirmed measles case since the start of the year. Public health officials say the majority of people who have contracted measles across the country were unvaccinated, and they're continuing to urge people to check their vaccination status and get the MMR vaccine as soon as possible.
Alyssa, thank you. Some important information there. Forgetting your keys can happen once in a while, but sometimes it can get more serious. There's a new survey through the Alzheimer's Association about memory loss. Our Aaron Lish now is live with the challenges you and your family may face. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning. So for Lyle Bass, he realized that he was having memory problems because he was playing this game called Rummikub, and he was forgetting those numbers, and he's an accountant. So he realized something was wrong. He went to the doctors and found out he did have Alzheimer's disease. So this survey that we were just talking about, they say 9 in 10 Americans who are experiencing memory or thinking problems would want someone to point it out and share their concerns. And the big issue here is the survey also showed that nearly 75% of people say it would be challenging to admit they're having memory loss to their family and friends. The Alzheimer's Association is hoping to make more families sit down and talk about this. For Lyle, he says it was important for him to get his loved ones involved early and make a plan with his caregivers along with his doctors.
Early diagnosis, early getting into it, being able to tell friends. And what I've done is build an outside team, family, friends. So I have a whole group of people already set up for my wife when she has to become a full-time caregiver.
Here are a few signs to look for getting recently learned information, issues with planning, confusion with times or places, and misplacing things, and change in mood or personality. And in that video you just saw, Lyle has a Tesla. It's the most advanced car that he could find with the technology. He also has an Apple Watch in case he ever gets lost. His family can locate him. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to have a little bit more on how you can help as a caregiver, but for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. As we get into the warmer summer months, Fishers Police are hoping to get community members on board to help keep local parks safe. The department is teaming up with the Parks and Recreation Department on a new program called Park Watch. It's similar to a neighborhood watch program where volunteers who already use parks will monitor the area for suspicious activity. The Fishers Police Chief says violent crime is not very common, but they do see vandalism cases and other crime at parks across the city.
When people are in parks and they see things that look out of place, anything to us is suspicious that's out of place. And what better than someone who lives near a park that knows the park and sees the park every day and has those trends? So anything out of the ordinary, a vehicle parked at 2 a.m., that's usually not an indicator of a good thing.
Jay Idle George is part of the Fishers Running Club. His group are many of the volunteers already stepping up to help out.
We have members all over Fishers. So we're going to try to spread the word, as you drive by, walk by, run by, just kind of take a peek. If you have the time, walk through. If you see something, say something. That's simple.
The city of Fishers still needs more volunteers, but they hope to send a message to everyone in Fishers that you don't have to be a volunteer to report suspicious activity on the Fishers Crime Watch app, which goes directly to officers that are on patrol. It is 5:10. Todd, today will be a great day to visit the park.
Yeah, especially this afternoon or in this evening. That is when the weather really becomes nice. We're kind of in the process of getting better here this morning. So as you walk out the door, we still have a ton of humidity out there. That's the first thing you'll notice. We have quite a bit of cloud cover, but throughout the morning hours, the clouds are going to decrease, and we should be getting into some sunshine already by 9-10 o'clock with temperatures that are going to be in the 60s. So here's what's left of the rain. Just some showers from Greensburg to Richmond up towards Muncie into the Hartford City area. That is moving off towards the east, and you notice the clouds starting to break apart already in western Indiana. There's a lot of moisture, though, here at the ground level, and it's going to take a little while for that to burn off, but there are the clear skies that are off to our west. Now, the one thing that won't really change a whole lot here throughout the day today is the temperature. We've already hit our high. We'll see these temperatures that are in the 60s and 70s drop a little bit and then eventually get back up to right around 70 degrees for your afternoon high. So while that's below normal, though, we have the sunshine and the low humidity later on this afternoon. More on that and the rest of the work week forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Still ahead, a deadly crane collapse slicing through a downtown Dallas apartment. What officials say caused the construction crane to come falling down.
Plus, the NBA Finals could wrap up tonight. The Toronto Raptors just one game away from a championship. Why tonight's Game 5 means fans of The Bachelorette have to wait an extra night for the latest on Hannah B's love life. It's 5:11. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
Weekdays at 9 on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now is 5:14. Here's a look at I-65 at the north split. Traffic's beginning to pick up, but the good news is everything's moving along just fine. Stay tuned. I'll have your latest traffic update coming up in just a few minutes.
Elena, thank you. New overnight, former Boston Red Sox star David Ortiz is recovering in a Dominican Republic hospital after being shot.
His father gave an update on his condition, saying after surgery he is now out of danger. The man known as Big Papi to fans was reportedly at a club in the Dominican when someone shot him in the stomach. Several other people reportedly attacked Ortiz after he was shot. Police say multiple people were taken into custody at the scene. Ortiz played 20 seasons in the MLB and won 3 World Series with the Red Sox before retiring in 2016.
This morning, some Dallas residents waking up in a temporary home after this deadly crash. A construction crane was brought down by severe weather on Sunday, killing one person and injuring 5 others. Widespread damage and power outages were reported across Dallas as storms moved through yesterday.
It just sliced through the building. I mean, not to be cliche, but like a hot knife through butter. And it went from the 5th floor all the way through to, from what I can tell, at least the 3rd floor.
This morning, 2 people are still in critical condition at the hospital. As the investigation continues, roads near the apartment complex will remain closed.
Police in Washington, D.C. released new details about a shooting scare that caused widespread panic at the Pride Parade in our nation's capital over the weekend. Officials say a man who pulled out a BB gun was the reason for the panic. In the chaos, 7 people were injured running away from the scene. Police say despite reports, no shots were actually fired, but some gates were knocked over, which may have sounded like gunshots. The suspect was arrested for having a prohibited weapon.
It happened in a blink of an eye, and yeah, then we just hit the ground super quick.
2 young boys in Arizona grateful to be alive after the trampoline they were playing on went airborne.
A gust of wind sent the trampoline flying in over a backyard wall earlier this month. The boys landed 15 feet away from where they started. One was hurt, and while initially they were worried he might be paralyzed, he only suffered a broken elbow and a pelvis injury. The boys' parents are now sharing this story as a warning to other families. All right, it's now 5:17. Let's get over to Todd.
All right, as you walk out the door this morning, it is muggy and it is also very damp out there, left over from the rain that we had off and on throughout the day yesterday. We have a little bit bit of rain still on Storm Team 6 radar here on the far eastern side of the state, but this is just about it as far as the rain showers go. There could be a little bit of patchy drizzle in and around the metro area, just simply so light the radar can't pick it up. But for the most part, we're done with the rain. Some showers near Batesville and then eventually towards Cincinnati. If your travel plans take you that way here this morning, but you notice off to the west, sky's starting to clear just a little bit. It's going to be a gradual process here this morning that will get the sunshine in here eventually. So you're waking up to clouds, and off to the west, though, you notice there's not a whole lot in the way of cloud cover, and that's the nicer weather that's going to come in as the day goes on. So here's TrueCast for you. It shows you the rain departing. Some clouds linger here through the middle half of the morning, and then as we get into the afternoon hours, that's when we finally clear the clouds totally out, and eventually skies will go mostly sunny here across the area. So you just have to be very patient here this morning, and eventually we'll get there. And as you look from the tower cam on top of the Salesforce Tower down towards the Capitol, you can kind of see some cloud cover still moving through as there is a lot of low-level moisture that's present in the atmosphere. How do you get rid of that? Well, one way is for a front to go through. That is not going to happen, but we are going to see the wind kick in, and it's out of the northwest, so that's a dry wind direction, so that's going to eventually knock the humidity down and the dew point temperature down as we go throughout the day today, and so that's why it's going to become a lot more comfortable despite no big-time cold front passing through the area here during the day today. 71 right now in Muncie, 68 in Richmond, 69 in Bloomington, Crawfordsville. You're sitting at 65 degrees. Here's your planner for the day, hour by hour. Morning clouds still at 10 a.m. and then turning partly cloudy as we head into the noon hour, and then eventually mostly sunny later on this evening with a temperature right around 69 degrees. So our normal high is 81. We are going to be well below normal, obviously, with these temperatures that I'm showing you right now, but it's going to be comfortable. You're going to have the sunshine, and it's just such a big change from what's happening here this morning with the very muggy conditions that we have across the area. As we head throughout the evening hours, you're in tip-top shape. Temperatures in the 60s. Sunset is at 9:13, and then tomorrow morning, you wake up to temperatures in the 40s and 50s. It's one of those nights where you can give the air conditioner a break, open up the windows, let that nice, cool, comfortable air in, and that sets us up for a beautiful Tuesday across the area. Mostly sunny skies, again, starting in the 50s, going up to 79 degrees for your high temperature with mostly sunny skies. A little bit of rain late Wednesday night into Thursday, but it's during the overnight hours, so most of the daytime hours are dry. And then Friday, 74 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. Here's a look at I-65 at 30th Street. This is over on the west side. You can see traffic's beginning to pick up, but the good news is everything's moving along just fine. Let's take a look at the map. Up on the northwest side, we have this ramp closure. Eastbound I-865 ramp to eastbound I-465. This hope is for it to open back up before we get to 6 o'clock this morning, so you should be good to go during rush hour. But to get around it, head southbound on 465, exit at 86th Street and head eastbound, then turn left to go northbound on Michigan Road, and then right to reach eastbound 465, and I'll let you know when it opens back up. Let's take another look at the roads. Here's I-70 at Post Road on the east side. You can see, again, everything's moving along just fine. Just pay attention to those ramp closures.
All right, Elena, thank you. Tonight, the Toronto Raptors could make history, picking up their very first NBA championship.
They go into Game 5 tonight with the 3-1 series lead over the Golden State Warriors. Now, despite the advantage, the team knows anything can happen when you're playing the Warriors, so they plan to take things one possession at a time.
We still got to get one more win. It's the first of 4. You got champions coming in here, and they're going to play their butts off and play extremely hard. So for us, we still got to just focus on us and take it one possession at a time.
Watch tonight's Game 5 right here on RTV6. Tip-off is at 9 p.m.
And with Game 5 tonight here on RTV6, a big programming change for Bachelorette fans. The new episode will not air tonight. It will air tomorrow, Tuesday at 8 p.m. That's when fans will have to wait and see what Hannah B does with the dueling Lukes in the house. Still ahead, her heart will go on, just not in Las Vegas. How Celine Dion closed out her 16-year residency and why she had to stall on stage for a few minutes during her last show.
Plus, another safe haven box is coming to Central Indiana. A high schooler behind the push to get a safe place for people to surrender their newborns. That's coming up in 15 minutes.
Our professional grade GMC.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now is 5:25. Here's a look at I-465 at Michigan Road on the north side. Everything's moving along just fine for your morning drive.
Elena, thank you. A record-breaking win at the Tony Awards last night. For the first time, a theater cast member in a wheelchair was not only nominated, but won. Ali Stroker is currently on Broadway in The Revival of Oklahoma. She took home the award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical. During her acceptance speech, she said she hopes this paves the way for other people with disabilities being welcome on the stage. She also encouraged theaters to make backstage areas more accessible for people with handicaps.
She's taking her final bow in Sin City. After a 16-year run at Caesars Palace, Celine Dion performed her final show at her Las Vegas show. Dion closed the show by singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow while pictures of her late husband flashed on the screen. Her 3 kids then joined her on stage for the final bow. But the moment was not without some laughter. At one point, Celine Dion paused the show for a fan making a run to the restroom. She joked with the amount that tickets cost for the final show, she didn't want anyone to miss anything. Wow, good for her. Most stars, I feel like, would be like, nope, I'm going to keep on, you know, going with the schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
And think of the pressure on the person going to the bathroom.
We got to hurry.
Having to get back with all those people waiting. So, all right, outside right now, it's very, very muggy. We have lots of clouds around for the rain. I mean, for the most part, it's made its way out of the area. That's the good news. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s here this morning. So despite it being kind of gloomy and uncomfortable here this morning, it actually does turn into a very, very nice day. You just got to be patient. The humidity drops. The temperatures are going to be a little bit below normal, but very comfortable in the upper 60s to low 70s with lots of sunshine here late in the day. The time now is 5:27. Stay with Good Morning Indiana and RTV6. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Only on RTV6 News.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Thanks for starting your morning with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. A muggy, a bit foggy morning out there, but that'll all clear out and make way for sunshine later today. Our Todd Clausen is standing by right now to let us know when we'll see that sun.
Yeah, patience. That's the name of the game here throughout the day today. You mentioned the humidity. It is way, way up there, almost a tropical-like feel as you walk out the door this morning. And temperatures are currently in the 60s and 70s, so it's a warm start to our morning. The thing, though, today is these temperatures, when we get into the sunshine, they are not going to go way up. In fact, they probably fall a little bit as we go into the middle half of the day and then eventually climb back up to right around 70 degrees later on this afternoon. And that's because the humidity is going to be dropping as we kick in the northwesterly winds. As far as the rain, some spotty showers from Richmond to Winchester up towards the Portland area, and that is just about it. The rain slowly moving off towards the east. Sky's trying to clear already this morning, but there's just a lot of moisture here at the ground level. So you're going to have to be patient. But eventually we get into the sunshine. It turns into a beautiful afternoon as the humidity drops and a nice comfortable temperature as we get into the 4 and 5 o'clock hour, right around 70 degrees. The time now is 5:31. Time for another update on the roads with Elena. Good morning.
Good morning, Todd. Traffic's picking up just a bit. This is over on the west side. I-465 at I-74 might look a little bit foggy, but nothing to be too concerned about as you're making your way to work this morning. Let's take a look at the map. Some ramp closures to pay attention to. Right now, the southbound I-65 ramp to Lafayette Road is closed. To get around it, you can always exit at 38th Street. And then at the same time, the Lafayette Road on-ramp to southbound I-69 is closed. You can always maneuver your way around and enter the interstate at 38th Street. We'll let you know when it opens back up, but the hope is for this all to be back open by 6 o'clock this morning. Let's take one last look at the roads. This time we're over on the east side. I-465 at I-70. Traffic's moving along just fine both directions.
All right, Elena, thank you. Right now, police need your help looking for a missing Hamilton County teenager. Take a good look at your screen. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Department says they need help finding 18-year-old Ethan Taylor. He was last seen in Cicero around 10 last night. He was wearing a red Fortnite t-shirt, blue jeans, and flip-flops. He was also wearing glasses. Investigators say he needs medical assistance. If you know anything about where Ethan is this morning, call 911.
New safety equipment for school buses is being tested right here in central Indiana. This comes after 3 children in Fulton County were killed trying to board a bus last October. The equipment is called the Predictive Stop Arm. When vehicles get too close to the bus while the stop arm is out, drivers and walkers will get a verbal warning. The Clark Pleasant School Corporation just got a 4-week trial of the system. Bus drivers say they welcome the extra eyes.
You've got all kinds of distractions. We got kids not maybe sitting in their seats or yelling and screaming, and it only takes one split second for that driver to take their eyes off of the road or eyes off of that child that's passing in front of them to go home for something to happen. This way, it helps them to control what is going on, even outside the bus. And we've never had that before.
The predictive stop arm can be integrated with the bus's existing cameras to capture license plates of drivers who pass the stop arms. The product is being tested in 5 states and will be available for purchase this summer.
Victims of sexual assault and domestic violence are having a tough time finding resources here in central Indiana. Brownsburg police are trying to change that. Morgan Coley is the new victim advocate with the police department. It's a first of its kind role for Brownsburg and for police agencies in Hendricks County. Morgan will serve as a tour guide of sorts for victims of crimes with an emphasis on sexual assault and domestic violence. She will guide them through the criminal investigation process and free up detectives to focus more on solving crimes.
We have 2 advocates out of the Hendricks County Prosecutor's Office, but of course, often what happens is that case isn't to them until the criminal investigation is complete. So we just noticed in that interim that there were some things we could be doing better, and that's what we did. We determined that we were just going to try to help bridge that gap.
Morgan started her position on May 13th. The job is at no cost to taxpayers due to restructuring other positions.
Indiana's 9th Safe Haven baby box will be available for use in Seymour later this week. It will look similar to this baby box in Carmel. It's installed at a fire station on Meadowbrook Drive and will be operational on Friday. The boxes give parents the option of surrendering a newborn safely, anonymously, and legally. Columbus North High School student Hunter Wart raised $10,000 for the Seymour baby box. The initiative was his senior project.
Measles cases continue to pop up across the country. More than 1,000 cases reported in the first half of 2019.
The virus, considered eradicated nearly 20 years ago, is now a threat to many, especially people with cancer. Our Alyssa Donovan spoke with oncologists at Franciscan Health. Alyssa, this is extremely frustrating for them.
That's right, Meredith. The focus of oncologists is to cure patients of their cancer, help them fight it, and in some cases just learn how to manage it. And the resurgence of measles is a major threat to the work they're doing to help their patients. The reason measles is so dangerous for people with cancer is because their immune system is not as strong as a healthy person's. Anti-cancer treatments and the cancer itself suppresses immunity and makes it much harder to fight the virus. Doctors at Franciscan Health's Cancer Center are taking steps to ensure their patients are not exposed to measles, advising them to use caution in their daily routines and make sure family members are vaccinated. The fatality rate for measles in a healthy person is not too bad, but it's very different for cancer patients.
In general, they can have much more morbidity from even having the measles. So their infection rate is higher, their complication rate is higher, and their fatality rate is much higher compared to a healthy individual.
Last month, Franciscan Health placed restrictions on visitors. People who have not been vaccinated are not immune to measles cannot enter certain areas, including the Oncology Cancer Center. Public health officials continue to urge people to get vaccinated, saying the majority of people who have contracted measles did not receive the vaccine.
Alyssa, thank you. If someone you love showed signs of memory loss, would you be the person to bring up your concerns? Our Erin Lish is live with a new survey that shows the challenges you and your family may face. She has more from the Alzheimer's Association. Erin?
Good morning. So 9 in 10 Americans in the survey said if they have memory loss, they would hope someone that would voice their concerns about the issue. So a big problem is there's a number that shows 75% of people say they would have a hard time admitting that they are having memory loss to their family or friends. This is Lyle Bass that you're seeing in this video here. He figured out that he was losing his memory while playing a game dealing with numbers, and that was an issue since he was an accountant. So he went to his doctor and was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. For Lyle, he says it was difficult telling people about having Alzheimer's, but he learned that there are resources to help plan out his future.
It's something you don't necessarily want to brag about, but I found out very quickly that just because there's no cure or nothing they say you could do about it, there's a lot you could do about it and also help other people.
So this can be a scary time for someone, so decide who you think would be best to talk to that person. Figure out a time and a place and a date. Try starting the conversation with, hey, I've noticed this change in you. I'm concerned. Have you noticed it? Are you worried? The Alzheimer's Association has a list of those different suggestions out there, and they also say to offer going to the doctor with that person. For Lyle, he has included his entire family, including his grandchildren, who have created memory games with him that they can play as a family. So coming up in the next half hour, we're going to talk a little bit about the resources that are available to the patients and the caregivers and the warning signs that you should be looking out for. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Erin, thank you. A federal judge says a Southern Indiana school corporation violated a transgender student's rights by not allowing him to use the boys' bathroom at school. The ACLU sued the Evansville Vanderburg School Corporation last year after the teenager was told to use the women's restroom. The judge found the district violated the student's 14th Amendment civil right. The judge also says the school violated Title IX laws by allowing transgender students to use gender-neutral bathrooms, but not bathrooms corresponding with their gender identity. The district's attorney says it respectfully disagrees with the ruling.
A Terre Haute man is recovering after being injured in a deadly crash involving several West Point cadets. Senior cadet Zach Potter is healing and back at training camp after the crash late last week. Potter is a punter for the Army football team and a Terre Haute North Vigo graduate. Potter's father says he learned about the crash when his son called him from an ambulance. The crash killed one person when the vehicle the cadets were riding in rolled over. The investigation into the crash continues this morning.
Residents in Montgomery County say they plan to fight against a planned hog farm. Plans show the farm being built near Linden. A proposal sent to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management shows 2 barns, each holding nearly 4,500 hogs. Neighbors say they're concerned about noise, the smell, and increased truck traffic on gravel roads from the farm. The farmer behind the project says he's more than willing to talk to those who have issues with the project. All right, it is now 5:40. Todd, it's going to be an overall nice day once that rain completely gets out of our area.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The rain's basically through, but there's just a lot of moisture that's still around out there, and that's the humidity that you feel. So as soon as you walk out the door, you'll notice that we still have lots of clouds around, and there could be a little bit of patchy drizzle. So despite how kind of gloomy and uncomfortable it is here this morning, it really does turn into a pretty nice afternoon for us. So here's what's left of the rain. Some showers near Muncie as well as Richmond, the Winchester area down towards Batesville. That's moving off towards the east, and you can already see the clouds trying to clear just a little bit, but it's really not until we get into the afternoon hours that we fully push all this rain and the moisture off towards the east. So as you work our way throughout the day today, you just have to be patient this morning. Gradually, we'll start to thin the clouds out. It's a little breezy, but that wind is what's helping us. It's a dry wind, so that's going to help to knock the temperatures down. We're only in the mid-60s here throughout the middle half of the day, but as we get back into the sunshine during the evening hours, temperatures do come back up to 70 degrees. So again, despite the gloomy start, beautiful afternoon for us tomorrow. Probably the best weather day of the week. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Students on an Oregon college campus are on edge this morning. Straight ahead, how officials say video of several students ended up on a porn website without their knowledge. Elena.
And here's a look at I-465 at Ditch Road up on the north side. You can see everything's moving along just fine for your morning drive, both eastbound and westbound. Time now 5:41. You're watching RTV6. Stay with us.
Find me. Check out Match right now for free.
Some Oregon State University students are on edge this morning. This after learning someone is secretly recording the backsides of female students and posting the videos to a porn site. The school put out a campus alert soon after they became aware that more than 50 videos had been posted on Pornhub within the last 3 weeks. The website, Your Local Security, named Oregon State the safest college campus in 2018, but now some students are concerned about privacy and safety.
I didn't imagine what it'd be like to be a woman walking around, especially with that going on. It's kind of scary. You don't know what the videos are for and why they're doing it.
An OSU spokesman says school administrators are now looking into who took those videos.
A California theme park is expected to reopen this morning after ash and smoke covered the park on Sunday. Officials say a brush fire started near Six Flags Magic Mountain, prompting the evacuation of the theme park. At this hour, firefighters are still working to put out the 2-alarm fire that's burned about 50 acres. Nearly a dozen people had to be taken to the hospital because of smoke and heat issues. Wow, Todd, that video, that is crazy to see.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. And sometimes, remember back to last week, we kind of had that haze out there, and that was from some forest fires that were up in Canada, kind of the high, thin clouds that almost looked like, and that was just actually some smoke. So yeah, that smoke can really travel and cause lots of issues, even though it might not be very, very close to you. So this morning, as you walk out the door, it is mild and it is extremely muggy out there. It's going to be a very tropical-like feel when you walk out the door. But here is the key. The humidity drops as we go into the afternoon as the sun comes out. So it's not the brightest or most comfortable start to the day, but we really shape things up pretty nicely heading into the afternoon hours, and that will set us up for a great day tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow probably could be the best weather day of this entire week. Here's a live look outside right now, and you can kind of just see that moisture that's out there. It's not really dense fog that's out there. It's just kind of that humidity that's still sticking around and hanging in the lower levels of the atmosphere. So we don't have any visibility issues on the roadways, but when you take a tower camera view like this, you can kind of just see that moisture that is out there. 68 degrees, that's the current temperature. The dew point's at 67 degrees. Anytime the actual temperature and the dew point temperature are very, very close to each other, that's when you have all the humidity around, and that's why it's at 96% right now. But here is the good news, the wind. It's not super strong yet, only 7 miles per hour, but it's the wind direction that's important here. That northwesterly wind, that is a dry wind direction. And look what happens to this dew point. So anytime you're in the mid-60s or higher, it's very uncomfortable, and that's where we are this morning. Once we start to work that drier air in, by the time we get to this afternoon, we're in the 40s and 50s for your dew point temperature. That is extremely comfortable. So it's going to get a lot better as the day goes on, and that's the good news. So if you're thinking about a workout, this afternoon and this evening will be much better than this morning. 71 right now in Muncie. 67 is the current temperature as you work your way back towards the Greencastle area. The only showers we have are still a few lingering here in far eastern portions of Indiana, Portland to Winchester, down into the Richmond area, then a few more near Batesville, and that's just about it. And the sky's trying to clear this morning, but we really kick in the clearing as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. You can see the clouds and TrueCast lingering here mid-morning, and then they really depart. So yeah, this afternoon and this evening, that is going to be your prime time, at least for today, to get out and about and enjoy the weather. So temperatures will actually drop off a little bit here throughout the day, where we get back to about 63 degrees by 1 p.m. So that's really below normal for this time of year. We should be in the low 80s, but once we work the sunshine back into the forecast, we're back up to right around 70 this afternoon. So yes, I know it's below normal for this time of year, but with the sunshine and the lower humidity, I think you'll really enjoy it. Tomorrow morning, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. It's a cool start to the day. Turns out to be a terrific day tomorrow with mostly sunny skies from start to finish. And we'll get that high temperature back closer to normal, right around 80 degrees. A little hiccup Wednesday night into Thursday with some more rain, nothing major. Friday, a great day. We're going to Jubilation. You should have terrific weather for that. Mostly sunny, 74. And then as we head into the weekend, some scattered storms are back in the forecast. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. The good news, not much happening out on the roadways. We do have those ramp closures, though. The southbound I-65 ramp to Lafayette Road is closed to get around an exit at 38th Street. At the same time, we still have that Lafayette Road ramp to southbound I-65 closed. So to get on the interstate, you can always use 38th Street as your alternate route. So keep that in mind as you're making your way around town. Hopefully this opens up within the next 10-15 minutes or so. Let's take a look at the roads right now. I-465 at Ditch Road up on the north side. Looks like some overnight road work in those right lanes, but you can see traffic's moving through just fine, so no backups or delays.
All right, Elena, thank you. Is this real? Coming up on the Trending 6, trying to read between the lines of a strange challenge issued by the Beebs late last night. It's 5:50. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
10 a.m. Saturday, only at Ashley Home Store.
Before you head out the door, it's time for the Trending 6.
Yeah, these are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online and you will want to know about. Boston Red Sox legend David Ortiz is recovering after he was shot and wounded in his native country, the Dominican Republic. A spokesman for Dominican National Police tells CNN Ortiz was shot in the back at a disco in Santo Domingo. News reports say a motorcyclist reportedly shot Ortiz when he came into that club there. Ortiz is said to be out of danger after surgery.
A piece of music history is up for grabs, more like a piece of a musician. A lock of hair belonging to Ludwig van Beethoven goes up for auction tomorrow. The hair was snipped off by the German composer himself nearly 200 years ago. It's expected to fetch between $15,000 and $19,000.
All right, well, would you take a dip in this? Plans are in the works to build this infinity rooftop pool in London. The pool will be made of cast acrylic and have transparent sides and floors so people inside the buildings can see swimmers above them. So how do you enter such a pristine pool? Beyonce style, of course, a spiral staircase that rotates and rises up through the water.
Okay, yeah, I would go swimming in that. Yesterday's NASCAR race was forced into a rain delay, and what better way to pass the time than with some football? This is driver Corey LaJoie tossing the football with some fans in the stands. Corey's dad said he made sure to tell the announcers that the driver was taught to throw a football player by NFL Hall of Famer Jim Kelly. Pretty good toss there.
I know, right? All right, well, we are still trying to figure out if this is real. Last night, Justin Bieber tweeted that he wanted to fight Tom Cruise in the octagon. Bieber said, "Tom, if you don't take this fight, you're scared and you will never live it down." So is this legit, and will someone put on the fight? No response yet from the Cruise camp.
And I happened to look out into the audience and I saw someone staring at me, flipping me the bird. And I swear it was Laura Linney.
Wow. Laura. Yeah, that was me.
Oh my God.
You got a problem with that, Audra?
Yeah, punk. I mean,
oh yeah?
Don't worry, that was only a fake beef there at the Tonys last night. Broadway stars Laura Linney and Audra McDonald. It was James Corden's idea to, as he put it, goose the ratings for last night's Tony Awards. Too funny.
She looked so serious when they went to her. I was like, wait a minute. Whoa there.
They're good actresses.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's your proof right there. All right, Todd, it is so humid outside. I don't know why we bothered to do our hair this morning.
Yeah, it will definitely... What's it go? Curly when it's humid?
Yes, and
mine goes flat.
All right, yours goes flat? All right, well, I guess...
I would take that.
I don't know what I was going to say then, because you're flat, you're curly, so I guess I can't really make much of a point. So temperatures are in the 60s. As Meredith mentioned, it is extremely humid out there, so whatever your hair does, it's not going to be a good day for it. I guess we'll leave it at that. The rain's coming to an end, though. That's pushing off towards the east. That's the good news. So we're pretty much done with the rain, but we have to get through a few hours here this morning with the clouds and a lot of humidity. But throughout the day, the clouds decrease, the humidity drops, and really by this afternoon, it turns into a beautiful day for us with mostly sunny skies eventually and a temperature that levels off right around 71 degrees. So just be patient. We get there. It turns into a beautiful Monday eventually. We'll talk more about the rest of the week coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:57. Stay with us. We'll be right back.